A little over 3.5 years ago, when I started this YouTube channel, never in my wildest dreams did I think I was gonna fall in love with touring motorcycles as much as I did. Finally, a little over 3 years later, I feel like I have the cherry on top of the cake of touring bikes. My very first Indian Challenger. This beautiful motorcycle behind me is the 2023 Indian Challenger Limited. I have a lot to tell you guys about this bike, but I don't want to say anything first because I haven't even ridden it yet. So let's go ahead and hop on the bike and talk about it. Total transparency, this is only the second, technically third time I have ever ridden an Indian Challenger. And I'm gonna go ahead and admit that I have completely changed my mind on this motorcycle compared to the very first time I test rode one. So the very first time I test rode an Indian Challenger, I had never really ridden any touring models. I was on the hunt to buy my very first touring model and I didn't really know what I wanted. So, as any normal person would do who's shopping for a motorcycle, I went to a bunch of demo days. I test rode the Harley Davidson Road Glide, I test rode the Indian Challenger, I test rode the Street Glide, the Road King, you know, most of those touring models. I have not test ridden an Indian Chieftain. I haven't ridden any of those yet. The very first time I ever rode the Challenger, I did not like it. It felt weird. It had like a tinny sound to it. It was just something I wasn't used to. And I was like, this feels like I'm doing something wrong. Little did I know, you know, young her two wheels who had only ever ridden Harley Davidson Dynas. Oh, that's what comfort and luxury feel like. So this motorcycle is not mine. This is loaned to me from Indian themselves, and they will be picking this bike up sometime this year. I have no idea when. So I do have a good while with this motorcycle as my own that I get to go ride and enjoy and really hopefully give you guys a comprehensive idea of what type of touring bike this one is. So as I mentioned, this is the 2023 Indian Challenger Limited. It has a few other modern amenities and luxuries versus like the standard base model and stuff. As you can tell, I have the leather wrapped lower guards down there. It's kind of a hot day in Ohio today, and I could honestly do without those, which is super nice because you just unbutton them and take them off. It also comes with the front fog lights, as well as a much larger windscreen in front of me. The windscreen, I also, even though it is taller, I wish it went down further because it's just toasty. I'm probably just gonna ride with the visor up most of the day. As far as ergonomics go on this motorcycle, this is an 800-pound motorcycle, 108 cc's. I stand at 5 foot 7 inches tall with a 31-inch inseam. I can perfectly flat foot this motorcycle, and for as heavy as it is, it feels very well balanced and incredibly lightweight, especially compared to my Road Glide. This will not be a review video because this is literally the very first time I've ridden this motorcycle, and I just kind of want to tell you guys from an honest point of view. I'm not being paid. Indian is not paying me to say anything. I wasn't told what to say about this motorcycle. They just asked me if I wanted to borrow it for a few months, and I'm like, yeah, I love riding bikes. As you guys might know, and also if you ever want to know the motorcycles that I have test ridden on this channel, just head over to my playlist called Test Rides. That's where I keep every single bike that I've ever test ridden. So if you want to know why I haven't ridden this one or this one or this one, go check out that playlist first. I might have. I am riding this bike in sport mode. I can 100% tell you, handling this motorcycle in sport mode compared to the Indian Chief in sport mode, it's a night and day difference. This one I feel like actually has the weight to it to be able to handle the torque and the power, whereas the Chief like scared the hell out of me. So far the shifting has been beautiful. The comfort, like the seat is super comfortable. I don't know what the material is made out of, but it looks really good. And we're hitting these slower, twistier back roads at a great pace. It's loving it. this hill like it's nothing. So the difference between the Limited and the Dark Horse is exactly what it sounds like. This bike has a ton of chrome and the Dark Horse is blacked out. I've never been down this road before. This is gorgeous. Nothing like taking a motorcycle you've never ridden before that you don't own down a road you've never been down. Oh, this is really pretty. So the second time I ever rode this motorcycle was a couple years ago, 2021, I do believe. And I just had, this is after I had been riding touring bikes for a few months, I think. So I had some experience under my belt taking my bike on longer trips. So riding the Challenger for the second time, I was like, oh wow, I had no idea what I was talking about earlier. It was just a different ride because I loved riding it the second time. Unfortunately, that was just a quick little demo ride, so I didn't really get to experience what the bike had to offer. And now, hopefully with having this one for a few months, I'll be able to give you a much more comprehensive idea of what this bike has to offer, what I personally think, and especially compared to the other baggers that I currently have in my possession. It's kind of hard to talk in this video, honestly. I'm just riding down these beautiful country roads on a brand new motorcycle and enjoying it. I'm like, I should be talking. I should have something to say. This is a motovlog channel after all. I know you guys can't hear it because you're in the GoPro. The bike sounds really good, even with this stock exhaust. Let's see how high this windscreen goes up. Up and up and up and up. Oh, okay. All right. So yeah, that's pretty high. So if you're anything over like 6 foot, that's gonna probably feel really good. Oh, it just saved my life with all of those helicopters that just wanted to fly in here. Oh, yeah, they are doing some road construction, aren't they? Ah, that's always how it goes. You get to a really pretty road, and then out of the blue they tear it up, which is nice. You want them to maintain the roads. I will say, with the stock suspension though, I have no idea this road is actually tore up. I don't feel any bumps. So instead of just talking about a motorcycle that I'm not well acquainted with, I kind of just want to talk to you guys about why I find myself constantly gravitating towards these really big, really heavy touring motorcycles. When I very first did my first ever long distance motorcycle trip, it was on my 2009 Harley Davidson Dyna Super Glide. I rode from Ohio to New York for the very first time for Babe's Ride Out. It was 500 miles one way on a stock seat, and it about destroyed me. Absolutely destroyed my body, my tailbone, and made for an incredibly unenjoyable experience. The freedom and the enjoyment of riding solo, riding long distance was wonderful, and I just had that experience robbed because I was in so much physical pain after I got back home. After a couple more long distance road trips on that motorcycle, after riding to New York and back a couple times, I rode to Florida and back, West Virginia, you know, I put 30,000 miles on that motorcycle, and I knew like my time was up. I knew it was time to get a better bike. So that's when I started doing some shopping for actual touring motorcycles. Oh my God! Okay, sport mode, I feel ya. So anyway, back to what I was saying. After I decided it was time to upgrade to a touring model, I rode so many different bikes, and eventually, and this has actually, I'm a little biased as to why I landed on my personal Harley Davidson Road Glide, is because I wanted to build a motorcycle that looked like Appa from Avatar: The Last Airbender. And the Harley Davidson Road Glide is nicknamed the Bison, or the Buffalo, because of its, you know, that aggressive hunch and that big fixed front fairing. So I ended up going with the Harley Davidson Road Glide. I used one because of the paint scheme and all of that. You guys know that story if you've been watching the channel for a while. So after getting some decent miles under my belt on my touring bike, I really wanted to know what it was like to ride other touring bikes. So that's when I started riding the BMW R18 bagger. And then of course I've just had a great experience with the Honda Goldwing. And now when I talk to Indian and they were like, we would like you to, you know, borrow a Challenger for a while. At first I was a little overwhelmed. I was like, what am I going to do? I'm going to make more videos on touring motorcycles? But I realized that's exactly what I wanted, and the Challenger was a perfect fit for my channel because I already have so much experience on these other bikes, and to be someone of potential authority in the matter, like, no, I'm not a professional. I didn't go to school for motorcycles. I don't know shit about when it comes to the actual combustion of motors and stuff. Like, I can explain it to a 3-year-old and that's about as good as I can do. But when it comes to experience on the actual bikes and putting miles down, that's where I have the authority. That's where I can tell you, oh, if you ride this bike for longer than 3 hours, this is what's going to happen. This is how it's going to feel. This is how hot it gets. And this is what your body's going to feel like, or at least this is what my body feels like. So I just really started developing an absolute affliction for these bikes. Like, I was like, it ruined me. I was like, if I'm not on a comfortable touring bike, I don't even want to ride. And that's really bad. I hate to admit that, but I kind of ruined myself with the baggers. So when I make videos about not really riding my Dyna anymore, I'm not making videos to be clickbaity or be dramatic. I'm making videos because I want to be honest with you guys. If I would have known that I was going to fall head over heels in love with these touring bikes like I have, I probably would have tried a lot harder to start out on a bike like this, and not as a new rider. Definitely not as a new rider. I didn't have the confidence or the skills to start out on bikes like this. But after having a few years under my belt with riding, I probably could have moved up to this comfortable style a little easier. Just on the few, maybe 15 miles I've already done on the bike, I do feel myself hunched over a little bit. It would be nice if this kind of had some back support to it, but even if it did have back support, my arms are so short I wouldn't be able to lean back. I have the same issue on my Road Glide, but I do feel that a little tiny bit. I'm kind of hunched over, but at least the bars come up high enough where I don't feel like all of the weight is down on my wrists. Again, it's so incredibly lightweight feeling for being an 800-pound motorcycle. I don't know how to explain it. Just great weight distribution, I suppose. It feels very nimble. I was going to get off the highway here and take this road, but this dump truck wants to take the same way. We'll just slow way down behind him, I suppose. Yeah, I think I was just going to pull over here real fast and kind of let those dump trucks get to where they need to go so I can actually enjoy a nice road. Also, the foot control feels so far in front of me. I don't know why. I really, really, really enjoy the extended floorboards. I would love to put extended floorboards on my Road Glide, but the foot controls feel super far away. Maybe I just have smaller feet than I actually thought I did. What's this? What is that? Oh, no. I don't know what that is. Hold on, I'm gonna have to look that up. Or somebody comment below and let me know what this is. Alright, they should be a little bit off in front of me, so let's get back to riding. So smooth. Man, I'm gonna tell you what. Ohio really is beautiful. Even the farmland. So I think probably my favorite thing about this bike is obviously you have this big infotainment screen up here. It is touchscreen. You can actually control it from over here. There's a little control on the back of the nozzle, the handle grip here. But you have buttons up here that'll help control it, and it's touchscreen, which is super nice. If you guys are familiar with my BMW R18, that is not touchscreen. It's a giant screen, and you have to use 57,000 knobs just to get to where you want to go on the screen. So having immediate buttons right up in front of you and the bike being touchscreen makes the world of difference when you're just trying to get shit done. I'm sorry. I know they don't want you to take your eyes off the road or take your hands off the bars, but what's more dangerous, trying to figure out how to do something or just using your hand and doing it? Oh my God, that's beautiful. Why'd they put such a nice corner in front of such a beautiful view? So because my channel is not specifically motorcycle reviews only, you know, I am a rider, I am a vlogger, I like to record my rides and talk on the camera with you guys. what are some specifics that you would like to see or hear about this bike on the channel without me having to just constantly act like I'm doing a review? Because reviews are fun, and I think they absolutely have their place here on YouTube. I don't do reviews. I will if I feel like I have enough knowledge and education and experience on the matter, but I don't do it as my bread and butter, man. I'm a rider. I enjoy the ride. Yeah, I can confidently tell you guys, sport mode on this bike handles way nicer than on the Chief. Another thing I used to think back before I rode touring bikes as a daily rider, I was very naive. I used to think that, you know, I'm obviously going to keep my Dyna because that's going to be my quick around town bike. That's going to be the bike that I don't want to take long distance. I'm only going to use my Road Glide for long distance bikes. I have forever changed my tune that you can absolutely ride these big heavy machines as daily riders. It just takes some getting used to, just like everything else in life. But yeah, as soon as I started daily riding my Road Glide, that was 100% the bike I wanted to take all the time, everywhere, no matter where I was going. What did I do to the motorcycle gods today to deserve tractors getting pulled out in front of me? The bike does put off a lot of heat down by the motor, and I think I notice it more because I have those lower guards on. I'll have to take those off here soon and see how it feels to ride without them. One thing I will say off the bat immediately that this bike has over a lot of the other baggers that I have, the bags are huge. I really, really like the size of these damn bags. That is just something that absolutely infuriates me about a couple of the other baggers that I have. Storage space is king. Oh, hell yeah. My Road Glide buddy. Blue bike babies and cows. 2 waves from 2 Harleys back to back. You know what bike I don't get waves on? I don't get waved at on the Goldwing. I get waved at by okay, so I know this is not a Goldwing video, but if you guys ride Goldwings, is it normal for Goldwings to flash their like fog lights at you? Is that a normal thing that Goldwings do? Because it's happened to me a couple times and I feel bad because I didn't know that, so I didn't flash mine back. Yeah, dude, the bike is really loving these sweepers and the hills. The low end power is just lovely. More cows. Hi. Oh, look at that. That is postcard worthy. Welcome to Ohio. This is the area of Ohio that I love. And when I tell you guys that I feel like I'm a hobbit, and this is what I mean. Like these rolling green hills, the farmlands, the cows. Like, yeah, this is what I like. Oh, we're in Amish country. And the ponies. This quickly turned from a video about motorcycles to a video about country life. Although I will say this is like as beautiful as Amish country is to ride in, it's very dangerous to ride in. I have almost quite literally crashed into the back of a horse and buggy over a blind hill. And you know me, I don't ride like a jackass. I was doing the speed limit, but you just never know where there's horse and buggies are going to be, and you almost always run into horse crap. Like there was some horse crap on the road there. That's pretty avoidable, but when you're going over a blind hill doing 55 and there's a horse and buggy in front of you, yeah, that'll make you need to change your shorts real quick. I actually just decided to turn around because that was such a lovely ride. I wanted to go back and see it. Oh my god, there was a baby horse rolling in the grass. Yes, I know a baby horse is called a foal, but everything is just so much more fun to say when you call it a baby. Like a baby cow, not calf. Ugh, that's not fun. Oh my god, Cardinal, get out of the way. This is lovely. I've like literally this raw recording of this video is probably going to be close to an hour long, and I'm not talking at all. I don't even know why I tell you guys that, because it doesn't make any sense when you're watching all the edited versions down, but this is a lovely, lovely ride. So I would like to know, if you own a touring motorcycle, leave a comment down below what bike you own and why you picked it, because I was very, very biased when I bought my bike. You could not talk me out of it. I had my mind made up and I made my purchase. And now, after riding so many different bikes, like, the price is very comparable. This bike specifically is out the door, no tax or anything, like over $29,000. So this is a very competitive price for other touring motorcycles compared to what you get out of this bike. The one thing I will say, I still think the Honda Goldwing and the BMW R18 have over the Challenger and my Road Glide is reverse. Shaft drive might not be the best for, you know, performance, I guess, but having that reverse in a shaft drive motorcycle has spoiled me. I love it. If I can ask you one more time to leave a comment down below, I'm really curious to know if you like seeing different motorcycles on the channel like this, if you like seeing a different perspective, and if you think I'm missing anything. Is there something that you just absolutely think I'm missing? There's been a lot of touring motorcycles on the channel lately, but that's just because those are specifically the bikes I love. I've had a lot of people lately tell me that they want to see older bikes on the channel, like bikes that normal people can afford to buy, and I respect that. I don't disagree with you there. I just, these newer motorcycles, especially when I work with manufacturers firsthand, it's a lot easier to get my hands on newer motorcycles because this is a fleet bike. This is a demo bike. So this bike is specifically designed to be put into hands of people like me who make YouTube videos. And getting my hands on older motorcycles requires me to actually know someone with that bike. Like, I have to ask to ride someone's personal motorcycle, which I'm fine doing. Like, I trust myself enough to take care of other people's property, but I just don't know that many people. Since I'm actually having an absolutely lovely time just out here riding by myself, I feel like I'm doing a really bad job focusing on questions that you might have about this motorcycle. So if you have any specific questions about this bike, leave a comment below and I'm going to do my best to answer those questions, because I know this is probably just a not super educational type of video. And this is the first time I've actually asked it in the video. If you haven't done so yet, I would really appreciate it if you considered subscribing to the channel. It's really hard to get people to actually subscribe to YouTube channels anymore, and the nice thing is YouTube actually shows me if you subscribed because of this video. And I probably should have mentioned that earlier in the video, because most people don't get this far. So if you have made it this far, thank you guys so much. This is just watching these videos and commenting below is like by far the easiest way to support your favorite creator. It doesn't have to just be me. You don't have to pay for Patreon and all that stuff. You don't have to buy the things that we're selling you in sponsorships. Just watching these videos all the way to the end is hands down the most impactful thing you can be doing. So don't ever let anyone tell you otherwise. You guys enjoyed watching this video. I definitely had a lot of fun just out cruising by myself, hanging out with you. So thank you so much for watching, and until my next one, as always, you guys be good, and I'll see you later.